Hello, my mindful adventurers. Today is your day for your weekly dose of the blog post. This week we're talking about our relationship with the collective, through the relationship with ourselves, of course. And I'm really wanting to talk about like us as like humans, as Homo sapiens sapiens. Like we are very social creatures. And I really want to pinpoint that down and like talk about that. Just I'm not gonna be like spitting off bunch of facts, but I mean, like, just, general generalizations and like talking about how that affects us in our everyday lives when it comes to relationships and why some relationships feel taxing. But anyway, my name is Jamila Luckett. I am the creator and I do all the editing and all that stuff here. And clearly, you're here because either the link, the picture interests you, or the title interests you. Let's talk about navigating the fabric of human connection, because that's basically what we're doing. This whole month is like we're basically weaving. We're weavers. Our soul is the actual weaver, the person who's doing the hand, I suppose, and then the mind is the needle and the body is the thread. Like we're weaving ourselves into the fabric of other people's lives. And now we're talking about human connection. Last week we talked about personal connection. I'll put the link to that up there at the top so you can get to that easy, because this is all building up. They're all building up on each other. And then if you want to read the blog post, if that's more your speed, or if you didn't know I had a blog post, you can go check that out down below in the comments, in the description. You'll see the Social Loom, Navigating the Fabric of Human Connection, which is the title. That'll be one of the first blog posts I put down there. And of course, I'll also link the other links to the other blog posts. And also on the bottom of the blog post, there's a link to the YouTube video. So if you decide that you want to just go check that out and then you lose the page or something like that, you can just get back to it. That way, I make sure that you can do that. And full disclosure, today is not the best day for me right now. But I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because I just life goes on, and I can adjust my boundaries to work so that my needs are met. And yeah. Anyway, oh, this is Bear, by the way. I never told you, this is Bear. They go by, well, they, but sometimes she. So it just depends on the day. I don't know. It's funny because like I'm not the only one that like switches up all of the pronouns, so I don't know. I feel like Bear's really either them. Anyway, Bear's one of my best friends. Bear's been my best friend since I was 8 months old. So just don't mind Bear. Bear's gonna just be on my shoulder today. Usually they're in my lap or like next to me or something, but today they're on my shoulder. Anywho, so let's go ahead and jump right into it, because that's what you're here for. You're here for the meat and potatoes. You're here for the steak and eggs. Steak and eggs. I guess if you want steak and eggs for breakfast, that sounds pretty good actually. Um, yeah, I'm hoping that this audio isn't too muffled. Maybe I should move it somewhere else, like onto my. I'll just put it on my wrist for now. Hoping it's not too windy though. That's the other thing. I'm not gonna be very expressive. Oh, my dog's making a cameo. Okay. His name is Orion, if you were wondering. Orion Adonis, because he's gorgeous. Well, that's not the reason, but I named him when he was a puppy, and I was hoping he was gonna be like this huge, beautiful hunter. He's a hunter. He's beautiful. He's not huge. He's pretty. He's long and short. He's like the torso of a big dog, but like the legs of a medium-sized dog. So he's kind of funny. I love him. Anyway, back to the video. Oh, cool. He laid down. Awesome. So I really like the blog post title, because the Social Loom. I'm just gonna hold this. I don't. It's. I don't know. So I really like the blog post title, the Social Loom, because like I know for some people like dread like social interactions and like socializing with people, but at the same time they also like crave it, or like maybe they don't crave it, and maybe you do dread it, but it feels good when you satisfy. Well, if you have a satisfied interaction, a satisfying interaction with somebody, it definitely feels satisfying. Today is one of those days where I don't feel very social, so me and Bear, we go way back, and Bear doesn't require me to like really speak. You know what I mean? Bear's a bear. And my dog. Dogs don't care if you're having a bad day or a good day. They want you to scratch the butt. or they're just there for you. Animals, cats, cats do that too sometimes. But they mostly want the scratches. Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, sometimes the looming of the social encounter, like, you just don't, socializing is is a lot. It takes a lot out of you. That's why people have social batteries. Like we talk about social batteries because like socializing can be a lot, but it also can be very fulfilling. And let's just dive right into why. Like I've basically already done the intro. Well, let me see if I missed anything. Oh yes, yes, yes. Oh, I forgot to mention. Yes, I forgot. So us as humans, right? So like I was saying I want to talk about the evolutionary like reason why we are social creatures, right? And I never mentioned, the reason why we didn't exactly, survive because we're the strongest and the fastest and the whatever. We're the most like cooperative, you know. We survived and evolved and persisted for so long because we literally cooperate very well with each other to like live. I mean, like resources. This I didn't make this jacket. This bear wasn't. I didn't. Obviously, I didn't make it as a freaking 8-month-old, but the bear was the fabric. All this stuff was sourced in other places. We've gotten so good at like streamlining everyday necessity, well, just goods. Goods and services that we don't really need as much as we don't. Okay, I'm jumping ahead. I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to stop. Literally, the next part is about this. But let me back it up. What I'm trying to say is, um, we literally work together to survive. Because if we didn't work together to survive, it was more than likely that we would die. Unless we were like some kind of like amazing like solo, I don't know, whatever human. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there were solo people out there, but for the majority of humans, um, back in prehistoric day, when you were by yourself, um, good luck because you're gonna need help finding food, shelter, clothing. If you need it, depending on where you are, because when it's cold, you need fucking clothing. Like you have to go outside and get resources if you don't have it already, stored up. So having people help with all of that stuff, it really helped us like grow as a community, as people. So yeah, we're not here because we're the fastest, strongest. We're here because we're cooperative and we're very intelligent. That's another thing too. I want to add that. Okay, now to the next part where I was trying to like jump ahead. Oh my gosh. So we're chatty species. Like I know I've definitely heard like biologists talk about species. Social species who communicate via auditory responses, like birds, chimpanzees. Well, yeah, chimpanzees, monkeys, or like great apes. They also body language and stuff. But we're talking about like they do talk to each other. There's this communication. There's grunts and stuff against amongst the apes and chimps. They also do grunts and foods and things of that nature. So we use words. Well, sounds we call words, and phrases and things, and we string them together to make meaning. This is something that I don't know if we haven't had language for like since the first human ever, because we probably also just kind of grunted to each other and like gestured and danced out shit, to express ourselves with others because we still do that now. I mean, have you ever seen someone talk to somebody and they're just like straight up and down like a board, like not moving? They're probably nervous or they just have no social interaction skills. I know some people that have uh autism don't like move around very much because there's like that part of the brain is not fully formed. I believe, yeah, it's not fully formed. So they they struggle in social interactions where there's a lot of like body language and like yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like tone of voice, but I think that's a different part of the brain, and I'm not even gonna get into that. But yes, so you're have you ever seen anybody like straight up and down like a board not moving? You know, either you know there's something else going on, or they're just really awkward and very like nervous. It usually when we're really nervous, we don't really move because we're like kind of like in a freeze, kind of you know, fight or flight freeze kind of thing, fight flight freeze fawn situation. But I mean, usually you know if someone's talking and they're like stiff as a board, they're obviously in a freeze. But you know we are chatty, we're a chatty species, you know, we talk, we speak, and we're also very emotional, like we're very like full of the he's talking over, full of emotions, and we express them in very many different ways, like we sing, we scream, we talk, we laugh, we freaking chortle, which is like a weird way to like laugh, giggle. I almost said gurgle. I mean, I guess if you gurgle to like express your emotions, I do sometimes. I guess when I'm like really angry and I'm like drinking something, and I'm like, you know what I mean? But you know, we are very emotional and we're very vocal. So this is this is like a part of our alarm system and like holding us together as like people and like holding us together as like a community. So when we wait, okay, I don't want to like jump ahead because I there was this one thing that I did want to mention. So babies, this is random, but not really random, but so babies, like there's a okay, so I was talking about autism earlier, but also like this is another thing that too that adds to like, you know, for people who like kind of struggle with social interactions or struggle with social like thriving socially, also can come from not being not I think it's starting to sprinkle, from not being like coddled or like held enough, or like not skin to skin contact with their mother, or primary caregiver, because you know like not all birth mothers are the ones that are going to raise the child, but you know what I mean, they don't get that skin to skin contact that they desperately need as children, and that like it, the brain doesn't get enough oxytocin to survive, like not survive, but like it to thrive in a social stance. So even babies need, you know, physical touch. I mean, and socializing isn't just, you know, talking and physical gestures. It's also like physical touch. It's also like action. Like actions speak louder than words. You can communicate a lot of things by just doing something. It's in everyday life, and I'm not talking about body like just body language. I'm talking, you know, I'm leaning in. I'm talking about like me, like if you don't know me at all, maybe we don't even know the same language. You know what I mean? But let's say we're working at the same place. You know, I'll just give an example of I worked in the cafeteria at my first college for all the years that I went there. But anyway, and let's just say you didn't like speak my language or whatever, and you came to the college and you're like trying to learn how to do like dishes, or like serve or whatever, and you know we didn't speak the same language, but I could just literally show you this is what I'm doing, like this is what you should be doing. You know what I mean? And like, and this is like how you like complete the job, you know, and like none of that requires words. Like you can serve people without saying shit. You can, I mean, people like it when you talk to them, but you can clean dishes without saying anything. Like, right? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You know, like things of that nature. I'm not talking about like teaching someone who doesn't know your language, like your law or something, like laws of the land. Like, no, that is that's a different realm, different different realm. Anyway, but I need to turn this way so I can see that it's still on. I always get paranoid that these like cut out. They cut out so often. They don't die fast. Like, they last like several recordings, but I would say they last like 2 hours. Like they got like a 2 hour battery life. I'm like recording with them. So yeah, I like record all the weekly posts. I don't even record that much. Like I don't know, but I don't even know why I'm talking about the battery. I just don't have a thing. I mean, I said, yeah, I'm worried about it like dying, but like that's not critical to this conversation whatsoever. But yes, our conversation, we conversate, we communicate in very many different ways, and one of the ways that we do is through physical touch, and it's very important for babies. And what I was trying to say is social brain. We got that social brain in 2026. Okay, we're social, we're social creatures. I like how I looked up and then there's fucking head just. UK dude. Okay. And in the big 2026, the social brain uh is literally like still trying to communicate and thrive the same way that it did back when we were living in huts, back when we were living in tribes, back when we were living in gatherings, back when we were nomadic. I'm not saying some people aren't still doing all those things, but I'm saying for society as a whole, when we weren't all doing that, you know what I mean? We can choose how we want to live our life. If I wanted to go be nomadic and live with nomadic people and do that, then I probably could. Of course, it's going to be a learning curve, but I could choose to do that. Back in the day, we couldn't choose to do that, and we had to stick together. And being in a group, I mean, like, there's a lot of shows and stuff that joke about it, but being in a group is safer than being alone. And because of this, in our current lives, it leads to people pleasing. It leads to hold on a second. It leads to people pleasing. Um it leads to like abandoning your boundaries, means to losing yourself, right? This is all a part of this. Is all like it feeds into the energy pipeline that is like our communication and our because like communication. We're in a relationship, right? Relationships like help build us, like, and a big part of relationship is communication, and that's why I'm talking about communication. That's why I'm focusing so much on communication right now. So if you're like, how we were talking about like weeding ourselves, yeah, but communication is such a big thing because you can't really have a good relationship with somebody if you're not able to communicate with them. I mean, like, even if it's on a non-verbal level, like you're still able to communicate. Like I'm saying, like there's different ways to communicate with people, right? So yeah, that's why we're focusing on communication. That's why we're focusing on the emotional and the evolutionary standpoint, because knowing that, understanding that, it's gonna help like kind of be like, okay, I see where everybody's just doing this and no one's trying to stop it, and it seems normal because everyone's accepting it because it was evolutionary, because we had been doing it for such a fucking long time that everyone's like, yeah, this is normal. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's not like someone's walking around with three fucking legs. Like, we don't have any kind of like weird limitations like that yet. But if someone was walking around with like fucking three legs, we'd be like, wow, that looks really weird. But if we all just started all of a sudden sprouting out fucking three legs, and after a while that'd be normal. So us fawning and flailing and fighting over stuff and people and relationships with people that don't even serve us and help us, it's normal, because back in the day, if we didn't do those things, we would fucking die. So I just want you guys to understand, like, being human is amazing and such a fantastic thing, but it's also very stressful because of all the evolutionary things that we have to move through in this day and age. Because in the big 2026, we don't need to rely on people like we used to. Like, we can go to the store to get food. Like, we don't need to rely on anybody to go to the store to get food. I mean, unless you can't like drive or you can't get to the store or whatever, some kind of like what is it, transportation issue. But I'm just saying, like, even then, you could probably grow some of your own food. You know what I mean? So, anywho, what I'm saying is like, you we don't have to live that way, right? We don't have to live that way, and it's holding us back. And this is okay. I'm literally bleeding right into the next section. I just looked down and realized I'm bleeding right into the next section. But yeah, it was different because like if we were being different, if we were acting like not, if we weren't acting in a way that conformed to the society, if we didn't conform in the group, if we didn't conform into our social class, well, that too, but We didn't conform into our social community, into our community, into our village, our tribe, our people. Well, we were casted out. Like we being unique, being different, being like our true selves was a way to get kicked out. I'm not saying like there wasn't any inclusion, like there wasn't like people who were like very like ancient peoples or people indigenous peoples around the world who do like very inclusive of people's different views and different like because we're all born different. We all have different things that we like and things that we don't like, and some people are super inclusive of that, they're super open to that. But then there's also like when it becomes a point where it's like disruptive or like destructive, or it becomes a problem for the community, or they're uncomfortable as a community, you can be exiled. And at that point, you don't have anything. You have no food, you have no shelter, you have no clothing, you have no resources. I mean, you might know some things, you might be able to do it, but more than likely you weren't going to make it. So we had to be social in order to like survive as a race. So yes, so now being different, it isn't it's not as much as a threat. Like people please, like that's why so many people please, right? That's not what I said earlier. Like people pleasing, that's one of the things. People like they want to make sure that everyone's okay. Like you make everyone happy. If you make everyone happy, then everything's okay. Then you'll be safe. And it's like that's not actually the case. I mean, yeah, you're gonna be safe in a way, but are you really living your life? Are you really experiencing all that you could experience if you're sitting there bending your like breaking your fucking back to like bend to the whim of other people because you feel like that's the way that it needs to be? I don't think that's thriving. I really think that's suffering. And I really feel like we as people, as modern day people, we do that, men and women alike. People pleasing. A lot of us learn at a young age because we learn that we need to make sure that everyone else is okay, and what we do is not important. You know what I mean? And that's not okay. We are important. We have our own goals and dreams and things, and we all deserve to be around people who respect that. And people, I said that weird. It came out like I was choking or something. But we should be around people who respect that. We should be around people who uplift us and uphold us and encourage us to grow and thrive and become better versions of ourselves, because we're always changing. Why not become the best version of ourselves? Why not see what this meat suit can do? I mean, we're all human. We're all having human experiences. Why can't we just see what it is our bodies are capable of? What it is that we are capable of? If we never try, then we'll never know. And when we, like I said, one of my number one fear, getting to my deathbed and being like, I didn't live a life that I enjoyed. I don't want that. I don't want that for anybody. And people pleasing really doesn't like it leads you down that road. And there's a way to like, and there's a way there's a way to meet your social needs besides people pleasing. Like I said, you find people who vibrate on your same frequency, who you vibe with. You know what I mean? Like such thing. You vibe, you're vibing, and you feel good. You're like around them, and you feel like you uplifted. You feel like it's kind of not like they feel like a drug, or something, but you feel like kind of euphoric. You feel good. Like you just feel like you could do anything. Um, that's what we talk about when I'm talking about vibing with people. It's not like some weird. It's not really weird. I mean, like you've met people. I'm pretty sure you've met people where you're like, oh wow, these are your right kind of people. And you vibe with them. Maybe you didn't vibe with them for very long, or maybe you only vibe with them for a little bit. Some people aren't meant to stay in your life. That's another hard rule. I'm not gonna actually get into any of this, but I mean, we this is all about relationships. So I feel like what, fuck it, let it all fly, let it all come out. I'm not having the best day, but there's gonna be some golden nuggets in here for y'all. I don't usually like saying y'all. Mark that down as a weird instance where I say y'all when I'm not pissed. Why we struggle? Okay. I don't 17. Oh yes, yes, yes. So we, like I said, not being ourselves was something that we had to do because it was a way to survive, to literally survive. So we wore masks, and some people were masturbating. Some people put themselves in boxes and hide themselves. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like I'm pretending to be a different person, but you're also like literally hiding yourself. Like you're not just um my brain wants to say promenade around like someone you're not. I don't think promenade means to walk, or maybe it's a walking place. I never actually looked it up. I watched Bridgerton, and I've seen the word, and I've seen pictures with it. Ladies walking, but I don't know if it means to walk. But it's if it does, I would have put it up here already. I'm fumbling, trying to like see if it makes sense. When you prance around, you prance around. You're not prancing around, pretending to be someone else with a mask. Like you're that's what I was trying to say. Like a lot of us do that. A lot of us, pretend to be someone we're not. I used to do that. I used to do that really bad. I used to literally go to school, pretend I was just like I don't know how to explain it. Not really like I wasn't. I was like a lot of people called me like not a lot of people called me. Okay, a lot of people didn't call me. I got called teacher's pet, but it wasn't like as like an insult. It was just well, I mean, at one point it was, but it was only by one person. But I mean, like I was like I kind of saw myself as a teacher's pet because I related more with the teachers than I did the students, which is kind of weird, but like whatever. I mean, old soul, I can't help it. Like I was way more mature than most of the people in my classes. I'm sorry, guys, but I was. Yeah. But I was also like, a creative, fun-loving person. Like when I was like hanging out with my friends at school, I was just kind of like crazy, kind of like everywhere, kind of like, and I like thought that that's the kind of person I needed to be. So I kind of like kept doing that. And in a way, I kind of am that person. I am like a pretty everywhere. Like I think I have ADHD or something. So I'm like everywhere. But I'm also like sometimes I am just like excited all day for no reason. Just excited. It's like excited to be alive. You know what I mean? Like just happy. Um and but I would do it to the point where it became toxic. Like I would just like be that every single day. And even when I moved states and where people don't even fucking know me at all. I mean, there's some people that know me, but they're not my grade or in any way that they would like affect how other people looked at me. But now you can choose to do that. Now you choose to be yourself around people and see what happens. That's another thing too. Is like just choosing to like just show up. In college, I was with a group of friends, and I was still pretending to be this like super excited, whatever kind of person. And it got to the point where they really liked it, and it was like almost like a performance. Like I felt like I had to like put it on for them to like make them feel comfortable and make them feel like comfortable around me specifically. It's not that they weren't. It's just like I could have like just not have done that, but I did because I'm so used to doing it. You get used to doing something, and you realize it works, and you keep doing it until it doesn't work, and it didn't work for me. Like 2 years into college, it didn't work for me, and I ended up breaking off with them. It was heartbreaking for me because it was like I realized like damn, like they really thought I was this person, and I'm really not, and they also like thought that they could lie in my face, which was crazy. But that's like what. um, but other than that, like I realized that I needed to stop doing that. So for the most part, with all the friends I made after that, I was myself. I was like, hey, sometimes I'm moody. Sometimes I have these things that go on, and I just like I don't know what's going on. But for the most part, like I'm all about the good vibes. I'm all about the I don't know, the positive whatever, the positive good, the good good boobs, the good I don't fucking know, the good the good. I want to say something funny, but it's not coming, so I'm just gonna like pass on. I want to be a part of that positiveness. You know what I mean? Let's like perpetuate that. So how do we like move from fitting in and into belonging? Because when you're belonging, you're just being yourself. You're just existing as you are as a beautiful human being, right? As a beautiful Homo sapien, chatty little Homo sapien. I don't know how to explain it. Besides that, Homo erectus. That was our cousin, our genetic cousins. But anywho, so the four threads of connections, at least the ones that I'm outlining, I feel like this is like it. I mean, aside from like as strangers, but we're not gonna get into that because we're talking about relationships. Hello, it's a little love month. Relationships with people and all things, and or just a relationship with how a relationship with others. Like whatever. Maybe next year I'll do something about romantic relationships, or I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next is another Anywho, I think February is always going to be about relationships, but all the other months are probably going to change, except for October has to be spooky taboo stuff. Okay, back to what I was fucking saying. Right. Okay, right. So the four threads of connection. So the first one I want to talk about is family. We don't get to choose these people. Now I believe in reincarnation and all that stuff. So like in a way you get to choose them, but like in this lifetime, you don't get to choose your family. You get what you get, right? Like you're born into the family. Like at that point, there's nothing you can do. I'm not gonna say intrusive thoughts. I'm leaving to myself. So there's nothing you can do, right? These are the people that you have ties to that you have no control over. Like your mama, your mammy, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your sister, your brother, your aunt, uncle, cousin, third cousin twice removed, freaking uncle up the street who really isn't an uncle but actually a friend of the family that you didn't even know until later, but you thought he was family. But anyway, all them people, right? All those people you never asked for, they're your family, right? I'm not saying like you have to put yourself around them. I've cut family off. Like there's family that has no access to me and they fucking hate it and I don't care because it's just one person. This is my grandmother. And it's like I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give up my peace because you want to talk to me and ruin my peace, and then like, and I'm not saying like she has the power to ruin my peace, but like her negative energy, I can choose to just not be around it, so I do. But anywho, these we're dealing with these kinds of like knots and ties too. We didn't build these ourselves, but being ourselves within these relationships. I mean, especially the one. I mean, no, like I said, not everybody's family is perfect. Actually, not everybody's family is perfect. There's no one's family is perfect. What the fuck am I saying? There's no such thing as a fucking perfect family. You have a fucking perfect family. You live in a la fucking fantasy land. I'm not even gonna lie to you because no one's fucking perfect. But anywho, we all have fucked up families, or some part of our family's fucked up, or like somebody's doing something somewhere. You know what I mean? But anywho, people that we have no control over being in our lives. We were born into them. Maybe you were born into them and ripped out of their lives and put into other people's lives. Again, you weren't really able to choose. Really. And if you were able to choose, then oh my god, that's amazing. That's cool. But how did you know at such a young age that these were the perfect people? Unless you were like led by the spirit or something, then more power to you. But when you're in the family, existing how you want to exist, and that's another thing too, because when you realize like, oh, I've been doing this thing for such a long time and I really want to stop and I really want to like be myself finally, your family's gonna be the first ones to be like, what the fuck are you doing? This is not you. Like my name is Jamila, so I'd be like, Jamila, you're not the Jamila I remember. I mean, no one ever said that to me, but if they did, like, I feel like that's how it would go. Like, Jamila, you're not the person I remember. When did you start telling me that you didn't like when I did this? And why are you acting like you never had a problem with it before? No, I have a problem with it now. We're gonna stop doing it, right? So you know what I mean? Something like that. Something like that. They're gonna be butthurt. And some of your friends from like when you were in the past, colleagues, and honestly anybody you have a relationship with now and you're planning on changing like your whole life, a lot of those people are either going to be extremely happy for you, like God, we have those people, or we're also going to have a lot of people that are going to be like, you changed up on me, and I can't vibe with it. Then more power to you. Bye. With that a little bit of energy, just wish them love and let them go. Because there's no reason to hold on to it. And trust me, I've given my father. He's another person I don't talk to. I've given him a lot of chances. Why did I force myself to say it the way that I was trying to come out? Chances. I've never put him in a trance. What the hell is that? I don't know what that's about. Chances. I've given them lots of chances. I've given my grandmother plenty of chances. I've given both of those people a lot of chances. And at one point, they were working together. They didn't like each other from the beginning, but then they started like becoming friends and like trying to get the other to talk to the other, for me to talk to. It was weird. I gave that a chance, and then it backfired. So, anywho, I don't know, but like I said, I gave him chances. I gave him so many chances, and honestly, I wish I never gave him all them fucking chances. I wish I would have been like, I wish I would have saw it for what it was, and been like, all right. Clearly, after 10 years of going through all of this, and you're still not changing your ways, I'm good. You know what I mean? And we're just, I guess that's what we're gonna talk about, the family section, because now I I don't know what else to tell you. Like, be yourself around your family, and enforce them boundaries, because, and if they don't want to, if they, I'm not saying like cut them off immediately, but I'm saying like you could give them chances. Okay, actually fucking give them chances, because they might prove you wrong. They might be like, oh really, this is okay, because they might be just pushing you, you know what I mean, just like pushing it, be like, are you really, and then you like, no, and then you give them another chance, like, okay, and they fall in line, not fall in line, but they get with the program, you know what I mean, you piss on the pot, or you shit on the pot, or you get off, you know what I mean. So in that same sense, and honestly, that should go for everybody. Like I said, everybody that you know, that before you make a big change, and that goes for friends and colleagues and your lover. If you have a lover that starts to, especially if you're trying to like change and they're making fun of you and they're being not very helpful and they're like literally hazing you, I'm sorry, but that is not a lover. That is a fucking high school bully, and you are now in a high school classroom. Get the fuck out. Get out. That is not, no. We don't have time for that around here. We're here to learn, grow, and thrive, and we're learning that is not okay. So we're gonna grow, and we're gonna thrive other places. Okay, we're gonna grow and go thrive somewhere else, because we're that no no. So yeah, and like another thing too is like when you go, because like friends, right? Because friends are people, and kind of like no colleagues and lovers. Those are people that we get to choose. Okay, so I focus on people that we didn't choose, or obviously in like people from our past lives. I mean, that's include, like I said, it includes everybody, right? Friends, family, colleagues, and lovers, all of that in our past lives. If they can't give the program, it's you gotta figure something out. Spend less time with them. Definitely tell them what your boundaries are and express that, so that you give them a chance. But then, if they can't get with the program, you gotta let it. You just gotta do it. It sucks, but you'll be better for it. I still miss these people sometimes. I miss what I could have had, but I gotta grieve what we could have had and what coulda, woulda, shoulda, because they ain't gonna be that ever. They're just not, like, those people are just not gonna show up for me in the way that I need them to, and that's just what it is. Not everybody's gonna be for everybody, even if they're your fucking family. But you get to choose your friends, right? And we're choosing friends. Of course, like I said, because obviously you have a past. Like, obviously you have probably friends and family and all that stuff too. Like, for right now, like, you're probably a human being that is an adult that has these things. Maybe you don't have a lover, that's fine. But all the other things, like, colleagues, I'm pretty sure you work. If you don't work, then I don't know how you're making money, but cool. We get to choose, right? We get to choose, like, for colleagues, we get to choose, like, where we go and like who we work for, and whether or not we want to like lose our soul doing that. You know what I mean? Because like when you work at a place to the point where you basically, that becomes your second life, I kind of feel like you lose your soul in a point. Like, you lose a part of your identity, because you're now bending backwards for being a number on someone's roster. Who wants to be a number when you could be a whole fucking human being? Go where you're valued. Go where the culture values its employees. You know what I mean? But for these friends thing, well, actually for the colleagues things too, and lovers, like, you choose people who reflects your growth, like where you want to go, not your on here it says grumpy but fast. So I put these into Gemini to like have it come out with an outline for me, and it put a lot of stuff that I've been telling it. recently, and one of the things was like, I feel like a grumpy butt, and it likes to like put things like that in there. It's kind of cute. I think it's cute. The coding's cute. Whoever made Gemini, if you see this, oh my god, love Gemini, super cute. Anywho, but yeah, like who's not in growth, who's aligned with your growth, not your growth but past. Like whoever's aligned with like where you're trying to go, not where you were. You know what I mean? Because like you're not that anymore. You're a different person. Like I said, especially if you're trying to make a big change. I'm assuming if you're here, you're trying to make a big change. You're trying to become a different person. You're trying to live your best life, and you're trying to like do that all before you die. Who doesn't want to do that all before you die? You know what I mean? So choose people who are where you want to be. Like if you want to be a millionaire, go find some people who have their own businesses or who are making their own money. People who aren't the people that you hang out with, because I forgot who said it, but show me your 5 closest friends and I'll tell you who you're going to be or who you are or who you're going to turn into in the next 5 years. Or there's a bunch of variations on it, but basically like the people you hang out with are the people you become. Like literally it's the fucking truth. Holy fuck. It's the truth. I know personally from my own personal experience, and I've seen it in other people's lives. So like, don't like seriously like just like surround yourself with people who uplift you and who support you. I'm talking about family too. Like I said earlier, sometimes your family don't act like your family when they should be acting like your family, but they ain't. They're acting wild and crazy, and you're just like, I thought you were supposed to love and support and care about me, and then they're not. So what am I supposed to do? You're supposed to do what's best for you, and that might mean leaving leaving those people behind, because those people are part of your past and resonate with a past version of yourself which you are not no more. I know I skipped out words, but I feel like that was really powerful and really profound. But like I said, you're not that person anymore, so you're leaving that behind. And if those people want to hang on to that old version of you, oh well, have a funeral. Have a funeral for that old version of me. I will never be that old version of me. I am a new person now. I am turning into a new person, and this is who I am now. This is what it is. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Plain and simple. I'm not gonna go back because you think whatever. And like I said with the college, I kind of like did the college before I did friends. Find a place that you're not gonna like slave away and like lose yourself and like put your head down and like nose to the plow and never look up, and you never like enjoy. Like find a place that uplifts you. You know what I mean? If it's not, it might not work for your friend or whoever, but it might work for you. It works for you if this is a place where you can thrive and grow and like whatever, and you enjoy yourself. If you enjoy, okay, another thing about these jobs, right? If you enjoy yourself doing like the most disgusting fucking job, obviously this is like an opinion, but not opinion, not an opinion. Well, it's based off of perception. But you might be doing like the most disgusting job on the planet, right? But it might be satisfying as fuck to you. Like, there's this one girl I see, she cleans stuff. She's like, oh my god, I love filth. And I'm like, ew. But she loves to clean. She does a really fucking good job. Like, I watch her on the internet. And I'm like, yo, she does a really good job. She loves doing that. I maybe like one time, but I'm not trying to do that. She enjoys it, If you found a job that you fucking love and other people are like, it's boring. Maybe you like accounting. I know people say accounting is boring because of all the numbers, but maybe numbers light you up. Maybe you love doing numbers. Maybe you love finding errors. I don't know. Do what makes you excited. Don't settle for anything less, because you deserve it. You deserve the best. And now we're gonna switch over to lovers, because you deserve the best. You deserve the best lover. You deserve the best partner. Maybe maybe you're a person that likes more than one person at a time, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? More the merrier. The more the merrier. I'm not that kind of person, but if you are, do what you got to do, but look for people who uplift you and uphold you, and they keep their own sense of individuality while also helping you remember that you're also your own individual person, while you're reminding them that they're their own individual person. Or you guys are a group of people, but you're all individual people who enjoy doing individual things. You're not all the same person, right? So you're looking for someone who's going to like uphold that individuality, but also at the same time act as if you are a part of them. You're gonna act as if they're a part of you. Something that's going on and you're like concerned about, you're gonna bring it up with them, like you should. Something going on that's like maybe it's the most amazing thing ever. You want to bring up with them. You should. You know what I mean? Like they're part of your life, but they're not your whole life. You're not going to lose yourself in that. And that's something that I worry about, because I've been in a couple of relationships where I did lose myself, but that was because the relationship was very abusive, and I was people pleasing. So I'm not saying it's all their fault and it's all my fault. It's a mix of both. And obviously, not being in that relationship in the first place probably would have been the best thing that happened. But I did it. I went through it. I learned things. I learned my worth. And now we're here on the other side of it. But like I'm saying, like I said, learn how to keep your individual, like be with people who uplift your individuality. Okay, fuck it, this still kill for everybody. Be with people who uplift your individuality, but also care about you deeply as a human being, as you are, as you as a person, deep down, with all your flaws, all of the things that are wrong with you, all of that, because you deserve it. You deserve so much. You deserve relationships that uphold you, that uplift you. Come on, man. Come on now. Come on now. All right. So onto the communication little section, right? About all these relationships, right? One of the things we got to do is like the language, our energy language. It's not just how we say. It's not just what we say. It's how we say it in the context. I guess words are like spells. The energy, the words themselves carry energy, right? Have you ever like seen somebody's like, oh my god, I got you got this puppy, I'm gonna name him Killer, and then Killer grows up to be an asshole? Oh my god, my friend just had a baby and she named her child, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a name that's like normal, but like, oh, I named him Loki, grows up to be a mass murderer. I'm not saying they do, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like when you name something, when you put that energy out there, when you're like putting that, you know what I mean? Like you're putting that, you're putting that energy out there. So like when you're talking and speaking, like the words you say might not be matching your intention. You've definitely said things that didn't match your intention. I'm fine when inside there was a million things that were going on and you wish you talked to somebody, but you didn't because you just wanted to be fine. You wanted to be left alone, but you really didn't want to be left alone. You know what you know what I mean, right? So you are said like with the energy, it's the frequency, it's what you're sending through the thread, that you're sending into the fabric. The fabric is the other people. The other people have their fabric. You have your fabric, they have their fabric, and they also have their threads. And you guys are, well, their thread, your thread. You guys are weaving into the fabric of the people who have already laid it down. So the people who've already laid down, most likely pass on. Their thread's still there because they laid the groundwork. But now you guys are like, weaving into that because you guys are like building on top of it. Maybe you guys are building your own whole fuck. You guys are weaving a whole fucking new thing. You guys gotta be, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of even more of a struggle because you don't have any like groundwork to like add to. But the whole whole point, the frequency you bring with you, the words you bring with you, the love, the emotion you bring with you, and like the authentic expression, like I kept saying earlier, like using your self expression, like using the self intimacy that you learn from week one, like learning who you are and what you stand for, and you know how you show up and how you want to show up and how you want to be perceived and how you want to love, because you loving yourself the way that you want to be loved. And that's one of those silent teachers. Like if you teach yourself like shit, other people will pick it up and they'll start teaching you like shit too. Fucking, if you want to test it, right? Go to an event where it's a multiple day event. You'll be with a couple people, you'll be with people for a while, make some friends, just make some friends, doesn't matter who they are, and then start treating yourself like shit. They'll also start treating you like shit. Don't do it. Don't actually do that. Don't actually do it, because that's not gonna help you at all. It's gonna make you feel worse. Okay. But I'm just saying, like, the way you treat yourself, like, other people are gonna pick up and like, okay, this is how I need to treat this person too. We send signals to other people all the time, like regardless of whether you're paying attention or not. So authentically express yourself from that space of intimacy where you know yourself, where you know how you show up for yourself and how you show up for life, and not from a place of like where you're like desperately trying to cling on to shit that doesn't serve you. Like I said, like those relationships don't serve you. Okay, vibe check. Before engaging, check your own thread. Oh yeah. So before like engaging or diving into like a new situation, don't like seriously though, don't actually go to a event and treat yourself like shit. Don't do that. I mean, you could if you're a really emotionally strong person and you want to do like a social experiment, go ahead. But other people's minds might really make you upset. just don't. Okay, but what I'm saying is like check your vibes, right? How are you feeling before you enter another social interaction? Like before you enter that room, how do you feel? Or after you feel the enter, or how before you feel enter the room, how do you feel? And then once you enter that room, how do you feel? Or just how do you like? Maybe you like you just got out of a relationship, like romantic relationship, and sorry, Valentine's Day is coming up. Sorry, babe. But anyway, at least in the time of this recording. But maybe you just got out of a relationship and you're like you feel afraid. You feel like, my shit's everywhere. Like I'm not really a whole thread anymore. I need to like weave myself back together. Like I gotta pick up the pieces. Um, and so before you do that, you gotta like check in with yourself. That intimacy, like what do I need right now, and like give it to yourself because you deserve everything. I don't care if that relationship you felt like everything, and what if maybe even if it was all your fault and everything that happened horrible in the relationship happened because of you. Like you still need to pick it up. You still need to like brush off and grow and learn and evolve and become better for it. Like learn from it. Don't just get like tied up in like the feelings that you have because your feelings are fleeting. They will leave you and eventually they'll move on and you won't feel them anymore because that's how feelings are, unless you bottle them up and then then you'll feel them all at once, and it is the worst blow up you could probably have. Don't do that. I recommend not doing that. I used to blow up all the time, not intentionally, but because I used to hold in things. Okay, so yeah, how are you, check yourself. Like, are you tangled? You pick up the pieces, like work yourself, but do that before you interact with other people because it really sets that foundation up for you showing up in that partnership vibe with yourself, especially if you're showing up with other people, because you want to know how you're feeling in that relationship, not how other people feel around you, how you feel around those people. Because fuck that jazz. How do you feel? You know what I mean? I'm not saying like you should make everyone feel uncomfortable intentionally or something, but I'm just saying like, how do you feel in the situation? There's almost 9 billion, or maybe there is, but there's like 9 billion people on the, I don't know. I'll put this big number here if I find the number. There's over 9 billion people, or almost 9 billion people on this planet. If 20 of them don't like you, don't make me even like go continue with that. Come on. So even if 100, even 1,000, if 1 billion people hate you, there's probably other people that love you. There's always gonna be someone that loves you. it's, it's just how life is. Everyone vibes with other people. So yeah, so remember, we used to really rely on social interactions. We used to really rely on interacting with other people and social interactions because that was something that kept us alive. Without it, we would not be around really as a race. I mean, we might be. I mean, there might be like solo people, like how like big cats, a lot of big cats, not lions obviously, but other big cats that are solo. Like we might be like that, maybe, I don't know, only coming together to mate and other things. But other than that, like we don't hunt together, we don't live together, we just some people are like that. Some people are solo people. Everyone's different. There's over 8 billion fucking people on the planet. So yeah, there's definitely people who just definitely people who live out in the middle of the forest somewhere and no one knows because they just dipped one day and they're like, bye society. But aside from that, even then, pretty sure every now and then they wish they had like someone to say something to. Something, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not them. But like I said, be yourself. Show up as yourself. Keep that intimacy with yourself because when you do, you're able to better show up and better like express yourself. Oh my gosh, this thing just got so dark. Why did it do that? It's not even, it didn't even get that much darker out here. That's crazy. I'm gonna get a little bit closer to you guys. So maybe it'll get a little bit lighter. I don't know. I'm literally wrapping up. but but yeah, remember what you're weaving in, and like that energy that you're putting in, the words you put out there, the energy that you put out there. Make sure your words match your intentions and your intentions match your words. And I mean, that's honestly the most powerful way to communicate, is matching your intention with your words. So keep doing that and keep showing up for yourself. And the prompt this week, the call to action, is what are relation what which relationships in your life, no, in your social loom, in your life, currently needs more intentional weave. Like, where do you need to like put more intention in, more passion, more energy into your social network? Put down in the comments. I would love to know. Of course, Saturday engagement also includes how are you. So if you want to put that down there too, I appreciate it. I love you guys comment. I love you guys so much. But yeah, I love you guys so much. I hope you guys like stick around for the rest of this month. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys learned some things. Maybe you already knew all this, but maybe you need a little bit of reminder. And I hope the little introductions, because like I said, I'm not feeling 100% today, and I did feel like I was kind of everywhere, but I feel like I was on point. I know I like talked a lot about like letting people go, but maybe the people who are watching this are struggling with letting people go. Maybe that's why you clicked on this. Maybe that's why it's here for you. Maybe that's why I talked about that so much. I don't know. Maybe none of that applies to you, but you're just here till the end because you like listening to me talk and love my topics. I love you. I love you so much. Come follow me. my links, my LinkedIn, my link tree. My link tree is down below, so you have links to all my social medias, and of course to the blog post, and of course the blog post down below. And the last week's blog post, I think that's the only blog post I mentioned. I don't think I'm gonna mention any other blog posts. I mean, I'll just put down the past that shaped me. So maybe if you want to know a little bit more about me, like why I had to let people go, specifically those two people, my dad and my grandmother, you can put that, you can see that down below. And then yeah, so comment and be here. And I love you guys so very much, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful rest of your 24 hours wherever you are on that 24 hours go, whether it be morning, noon, after night, noon, midnight, shamalama ding dong. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I do. I love this. Community. Okay. Bye.